What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to the Team Unconventional Podcast. My name is Matt, or Serge if you would prefer, and I am the host of the podcast. What we do here is that we talk about mainly like competitive games that we're currently into right now. I have a guest that is going to be part of the podcast as well as another that is in Pokemon TCG, and then another in VGC that I'm in for Pokemon. So the reason why we came up with this name is back in the day, we used to play Yu-Gi-Oh! And Naruto. We used the name because we built decks and used different types of mechanics and teams to really change up the meta. And some of us were very successful, and a lot of us, mainly me, were not very successful. But it was a team name that did catch a lot of people off guard when we used it, and it was really, really fun to use it. So let's go ahead and start up with the introductions of the other two that will be joining me on today's podcast of episode 1.
What is up, Matt? This is JT. I am so happy to be doing this with you finally. I think it was maybe a year or two ago when we started thinking about this name. I looked on Twitter and all that other stuff, and it was not taken. So it was pretty natural that we scraped off that old one. But for the record, none of us were successful at competitive card games. We were like in our teens, and it was before the internet, so like couldn't use things like Pojo were pretty new. So even word of mouth was pretty scarce. So we did very poorly, but we always stuck together. You, me, your brother, who might be joining us at some point. I'm hoping to get him on an interview someday. But you and I picked up Pokemon when they started VGC in like black and white, and it was pretty quickly after that we learned that people like generated through computers and stuff.
Oh, God.
Like, yeah, man, Pokemon, like anything you wanted, and it really devalued it for both you and me. But I'll be honest, I definitely tried. I probably spent 2 months trying to get my first shiny, but I've been super into Pokemon. But honestly, when you mentioned doing competitive in the Sword and Shield era, is when it really like lit my brain on fire because of how easy it is to change any Pokemon any which way competitively. So you and I have been playing EGC pretty competitively for the last 6 months that the game's been out. We both took part in the Portland Regional, and you actually, as I understand it, have a YouTube channel where you host. What are you calling it now? Beyond the Badge, or have you picked a name? What is it called right now?
I have picked a name. I haven't got it in front of me, but before we get too far ahead of ourselves, let's go ahead and introduce the other person that will be joining us on this adventure for the podcast. Why don't you go ahead and step right into your role there, sir?
Yes, hello, Matthew. JT. It is I, His Grace, the Duke of Ormond, or just Mike, I guess. My experience is a little bit different than yours. JT is the one that got me into Dragon Ball first. I was playing Magic, and I'd played the Star Wars TCG game years ago. But Jay got me into Dragon Ball. Was it Dragon Ball Z by Panini at that point in time?
Panini or Score?
I think it was Panini that I started with you. But I think actually it was Yu-Gi-Oh! It was Yu-Gi-Oh! But then I didn't play much of that. And then competitively I started playing Dragon Ball Panini with you, and I kind of sucked. Still kind of suck. But I've done some VGC. I got into Sword and Shield with you guys on the VGC side. Now into Scarlet and Violet. I'm not really... I guess I just don't have the patience for that. I stick mostly to the Pokemon Online Live TCG game, which is where I am at now. Playing that, and then video games and board games and that kind of stuff as well. So you can refer to me just as the Duke. Be fine.
I like it. And I apologize. Oh no, the
For
humble
your
is
grace,
coming
that's
out.
fine. Or the humble one. The humble one works as well too.
I apologize for laughing during your intro. For the viewers or listeners out there, depending on the platform that you're listening on, this is our second take of it, and the first one wasn't too great. I might throw like a little snippet of what happened. It was a train wreck. It was funny, but it was a train wreck.
Now
It
we're
was
just
that
trying
train
for
wreck
number 3.
where you get your foot caught in the thing and you're scared for a minute and you pull out, but your shoe's left, and so
And you
something's
go
left
back for your
behind.
shoe.
Something is left behind, but it's you're alive. It's all fine.
Yeah.
I just want you all to know that I bit my tongue very hard during that whole little bit right there about pulling out and leaving something behind.
Oh, the innuendos. Okay, so to answer JT's question, yeah, the title that we'll be switching over to the YouTube series here for season 8 when Regulation D comes out is going to be Beyond the Badge for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet Pokemon online ranked battles. And I'm kind of excited to use that title. As a matter of fact, I have something in the works that will hopefully be very interesting to watch. Since this is going to be my first 100 online ranked battles for season 7, I'm planning on putting that into an entire YouTube video all on its own, so you can see from battle 1 all the way to 100 in one straight shot.
Just so that the listener at home understands, how many times have you completed 100 battles on the cartridge in a single month?
This will be my first time.
Woo! That is such a benchmark, honestly. I think I've only done it once or maybe twice. Like 100 battles, man, you should be very proud. Because we're not even, for the listener at home, Matt still has a week.
Yeah.
If you are watching this, you're likely a subscriber to his series, like I am. I'm about 4 or 5 episodes behind, but I will not be requiring spoilers from Matt during this podcast because he is an animal and he puts out content all the time. If you are not subscribed to him, you should, because it is super interesting. And frankly, as somebody who's been watching since the beginning, to see the growth that you've had, because you weren't a bad player to start, but you've grown so exponentially, even to where I'm at, which is several episodes behind. Like Matt placed okay in the regional, and then he immediately followed it up with a good performance the next week at the Premier Challenge. If not for a calculating error, he would have finished at the same rating as I would have, which was at 8th.
I just like it to be known that I do want spoilers from Matt.
Yeah. Oh, no. I'm asking for spoilers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I have no problem getting spoiled at all. I will watch it anyway because I love watching his plays, and it's just such a, because he doesn't hard edit much. It's really interesting to see what's out there.
You get all the emotion.
You do. You get a full range of emotions from Matt. He is his own cheerleader, and I'm here for it.
I try to do my best, as being as entertaining as I possibly can. And a lot of times I have to record the episodes the day of. So usually in the morning, I spend maybe 2.5 hours just making a single episode. One to record it, and then the other one to render it. And then the rest is just uploading it onto YouTube when it's all done. Thankfully, I use a program called Notion, which isn't a sponsor of ours, but that's totally fine. But I use that to come up with different types of templates, and I have one for my YouTube data page. So it's got my titles all ready to go, the description, as well as the tags. So as soon as I hit upload onto YouTube and drag it in there, it's literally like I click between 2 different screens and everything's in there. So it makes it really, really easy. Although last week or so, I've been really, really bad at catching my editing problems, and I don't know if it's just because I'm really, really tired or I'm coming down with something. I have like the when this is being recorded, you guys should have seen episode 18. I didn't take out an entire video track or audio track, which means you got to hear me twice. So yeah, that's bad. I was like, nope, we're just but go ahead. Sorry.
What program did you say you use?
Notion.
Yeah, Notion. You may not sponsor us now, but if you're listening, Please go ahead and send us some subscription money.
Yeah.
or at them on
Sponsor money.
Twitter.
Yeah, some
and be like,
sponsor money.
"These
Send
guys
us some
like you."
sponsor.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anybody
We'll sell
listening,
out.
if you want to tag us in Notion on Twitter,
Uh-huh.
we'll take the sponsorship. I mean,
At Ace Trainer JT on Twitter.
there you go. Yeah, send
Yeah,
it
there you
there.
go.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yep. For sure, send us money. We will sell out.
Yeah.
We want to go to many events in this generation because
And we want to go to large events as well, not just mini ones.
Many events, many large events.
Yeah, there you go. Yes,
I
like
was
that.
so hoping we would be able to go as the four of us to go to NAIC. I really wanted to go.
I didn't want to do it unless I placed in the top 8 of the regional because I wanted to save money to go and shoot for one of the other worlds because Japan is going to be so expensive, but it is looking to be like such an event. For those of you who don't know, this year is the first year ever that Pokemon Worlds is hosted in its home country of Japan, and it has raffles to real life SSAN as well as other events. So if you are even close to your CP limit, I'm sure you're not listening to this, but if you are and you are listening to this, definitely push hard at those premier challenges.
They might be listening.
Whew, it's gonna be something.
We don't discriminate. We have a full range of listeners.
Absolutely.
We have no listeners right now.
We
As
have
of now,
none.
we will have. We're open to all of you guys. So
Well, and we're gonna
full
give
CP, not full. We don't care. Come join.
We're gonna
us.
give out prizes. So
Wait,
there's gonna be some
whoa,
rewards for.
whoa.
Oh yeah. Stay tuned, listener. We'll be discussing that this episode.
I need to be staying tuned because I didn't know anything about this.
I would like to discuss something specifically with Duke, His Grace, the Humble.
Thank you. I love it when you say the whole thing.
I am a outside viewer of the Pokemon TCG world, but I am aware, because I don't live under a rock, that the new live has taken full form and the old version is sunsetted, which means you cannot play it anymore.
Nope.
You can only play live.
Cannot play it anymore.
So as somebody who has not played since the beta, or maybe even somebody who hasn't played it at all, could you walk us through some things over the old Pokemon client?
I would love to, but I have to take a small break and go fix a technical issue for the old people that I live with. So if you would, talk amongst yourselves.
We'll carry this. No worries.
Please carry it until I get back. Yes. I have faith in you.
Okay.
Oh, yes.
So
Matt. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
So as the Duke is gonna go deal with technical issues, he'll probably give us some breakdown of Pokemon Live that JT was just saying that was just recently announced. So it's been really interesting to be able to play online. It's something that I particularly appreciate because I love playing the card game. I've often stopped collecting and then started collecting and stopped collecting and even played TCG. I know that we were going to tournaments for Pokemon back in X and Y, and we were even going to locals back then. And you and Tony, who is our member missing currently at the moment, excuse me, you guys did VGC while I did TCG, and I wanted to go to VGC after that because one, the cost of admission was significantly cheaper, and I had so many rounds of TCG, it was not funny.
Yeah, I wish that it was still free, but frankly, as somebody who's gone almost purely to regionals because they're in his home city, the amount of money that's come in from the ticket price has allowed for venues like the big Portland Convention Center this past year, rather than we had it in a hangar in Salem, Oregon in 2014 or 2015. And then in the lobby of a hotel room in 2016 or 15. So that is kind of where your money seems to be going. And it was, for those who have not been to a regional, definitely consider going, because there was even a corner that had all of the classic Pokemon games like Stadium, Coliseum, Snap, just freely available. So even if you do very poorly at the event because maybe you don't play as much of the VGC or the TCG as you should if you want to place high, there's always something to do, and there were a bunch of side events. I'd like to hear, honestly, what you think going into Regulation D, bro.
I'm excited. Although there's going to be a lot of probably controversial Pokemon that is going to be hitting, especially the ones that came out of Smogon. They had banned Regieleki, and I, for one, don't see the reason why. But I also believe that Smogon uses all the mechanics from every generation, no matter what it is. So you have
Correct.
a bigger pool to pick from, which means added effects, different abilities, all this other stuff. So maybe when everything's like combined or available, it becomes a little difficult, I want to say, to be able to compete in that particular battlefield. But I believe in Gen 9, I don't think it's going to be a big problem, honestly.
Well, I would like to say that despite how little I do know about Smogon, I do know that most of their games are based more so upon usage. And Regieleki, with the ability to terrestrialize and Terra Ice, I think it's going to become a real good Pokemon, and easily one that Smogon might just want to remove until they get into like the restricted areas where you can use higher base stat total Pokemon like Zacian or, I guess we don't have Yveltal, but Kyogre and Groudon. Definitely on the radar, though, has got to be Regieleki or Urshifu as the most used. We were talking off mic about you thinking that Fluttermane was not only going to be displaced, but might even go out of the top 5 or top 10. But defend this, sir, because as we both know, Fluttermane has been number 1 since, I believe, Regulation B, the first season of it.
Yeah, so I believe that Fluttermane is going to be coming up to like a rude awakening, or if anything, it's going to be knocked down into maybe top 20 because of the fact that there's going to be newer Pokemon coming out and different types of playstyles are going to be coming out. Ursaluna was one of that when you brought up off mic, or at least off podcast or whatever it's called at the moment, because I can't remember. That Trick Room is going to be like a huge thing with Cresselia bringing in with her new attack that allows her to heal off special, conditions. And Ursaluna's like, well, I have guts, so Flame Orb, gonna do like a lot of damage, and then Ursaluna is gonna, or not Ursaluna, but Cresselia is gonna remove the burn effect right after that. So you never get that end turn burn damage, but then get reburnt right after that.
For the guts bonus. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes,
So
sir.
because there's going to be a lot of interesting mechanics, I don't believe Fluttermane is going to remain top dog, especially with Terrestrialization is as it's being used right now. There's only really 4 big Terra types that everyone uses, which is fire, steel, I want to say water, and grass. You could get away with poison, but not a lot of people use poison because of the fact that right now everyone's bringing in like a really strong ground type, which is why I don't think Fluttermane's going to really last very long, because everyone's going to be using Pokemon that is going to have a stronger Terra type, even though that she's got like the second highest speed outside of Regieleki. I mean,
she's lower than second. She's in a third tier even of speed as far as the top dogs. But for the record, Dark on Cresselia will likely be a strong choice for the Terra, just for the Fluttermane matchup, because you can be immune to taunt from pranksters, as well as resist Shadow Ball, which would otherwise super affect you, creating some head games. So I think that there is some value in Cresselia, at least, to lower down the usage of Fluttermane.
Yeah, and I believe that Dark types is going to see an uproar because of the fact that now we get the 3 genies, and I know 2 of them specifically have Prankster. Landorus doesn't come in with Prankster. He's usually being used as an Intimidator. So you have an intimidating flying ground type that is going to literally be a problem to a lot of people unless you know how to deal with him. I haven't played a lot with Enamorus. As a matter of fact, I still have haven't caught her in Pokemon Arceus, it's going to be on my list to do today. But when you have like a big wide variety of different Pokemon, what was top dog at first isn't going to be remaining top dog. Another question that that just popped in my head was whether or not that you think that Dragonite is going to be one of the top 10 now, because why would you use Terra Normal Extreme Speed against Pokemon that are obviously going to be able to get around that feature now?
Well, there's always the fear of terrestrialization, clearly, and the ghost. If Fluttermane goes down, really the ghost coverage goes down. You have to think that Annihilate, being in its speed tier and being a little bit slower to set up, is gonna use some potency, especially with the sanctity of Protect no longer being all there. But you talk about Chin Pao, Urshifu, Dragonite makes a lot of sense as a third Pokemon, regardless of if you're doing the Inner Focus set, the Dragon Dance set, the Assault Vest multi-scale set, the Choice Band. He's really versatile because of his attack stat. And what terrestrialization really does at the end of the day is it takes Pokemon that their typing hold them back from being really relevant away. So like this is why we saw Hydreigon do so well at the beginning, because you could change from being ×4 to one of the best typing in Fairy to being resistant to it, and one of your weaknesses is removed because of Levitate. And I think that Dragonite is really similar. I don't know if you're going to continue to see normal Terra extreme speeds, but I don't know why you would not see them, especially with Urshifu really helping out, especially with the Fluttermane matchup because of Urshifu's priority attacks. You were saying that he's the new Palafin, and with everybody kind of softening on Palafin, I wonder if that will become the case again.
I absolutely believe that he's going to be the new Palafin. He's going to be stronger than Palafin. He doesn't have to switch out, so you don't have to like sacrifice a turn to get him out and then bring him back. And then like because of his ability Unseen Fist, you can literally attack through Protect. So depending on the Urshifu that you use, I will personally be using Water because, you know, Surging Strikes is a really good attack for Water. 3 attacks, auto crits, they don't miss. So if you put in like a Choice Band on top of that, that is going to be a lot of damage done to a single Pokemon that not a lot of people are going to be able to deal with. You can Terra Water him to specifically give him like a boost. I mean, crap, give him Mystical Water. You can build him just like Palafin, and he's still going to be stronger than Palafin.
It's true. Close Combat has a really easy same type attack bonus with its fighting type to put onto either set. I have both Urshifus, so I will be playing both at some point or another, but they are really, on paper, very scary. And as 2 players that only use cartridge, I would definitely invite any listener that happens to play a lot of Smogon to hit us up on any of the social medias, on Matt's YouTube channel, because we would definitely be interested in interviewing you over some amount of time on this podcast. Smogon is a super diverse representation of Pokemon, just like the ROM hacks, which is another thing that if you are a listener, I will want to interview you because me and Matt are aware of them, but we do not play them.
Yes. It's actually the reason why we stopped playing competitively back in X and Y. We were doing locals, right? We're middle of the just name your favorite restaurant here with any judge. It wasn't in a card shop or anything, but we competed against someone that ended up getting a very weird type like Pokemon. And I'm not saying like it was hacked and like it was just instantly changed. Like it wasn't like what you see on YouTube today where you fuse 2 Pokemon and then fight. It wasn't anything like that. Instead, it was the Raichu set that was not only shiny, had a very special ball, but had move sets that would make it almost nearly impossible. And the only reason why I know about this set is because you actually had us leave after 2 rounds because of the fact that I ran into someone that had it, you played against someone that had it, and then I think after your second match that another person had it. So a very exclusive Pokemon that was supposed to be a Pokemon for a particular event that was offered online was just given given away all willy-nilly, and it was really, really hard to come back from that. And then when we looked deeper into it, we were finding out that all of these Pokemon that people were able to play in VGC were able to either ROM hack, use a Game Shark code, or just do some sort of computer manipulation for RNG. And there's many things that allow you to figure out what your particular, what is it, game state, I think that was what that was called.
Hang on. Listener, stay with me for a second. Matt, I got 2 things to tell you, my man.
Okay.
And listener, I will always tell you the truth. I had bathroom problems after the second round of this event Matt is talking about, and I had to leave because of that.
Oh.
Number 2, and this is a Team Unconventional exclusive. Matt, hacks are a special game that only exists online, dude. They're like Radical Red and Kaizo Emerald, and it's this whole. Your homework for next episode, you're gonna watch a YouTube video or 2 or look into it, because it's a beautiful part of Pokemon that we don't do.
Excuse me, sir. You
Yes,
are
sir.
not the host. You do not give the host homework.
Oh man,
The host gives homework.
Hold him accountable to this, because it's so beautiful. And if you don't know about it, Mike, I would advise that you look into it as well, because it's such a cool part of Pokemon.
Okay.
They go into it and I'm sorry.
No, it's
You'll next week.
I totally forgot that a lot of people do that now. Like the Nuzlocke that everyone pulls off are fantastic video watches.
Yes. Many of them are built just to do Nuzlocke runs on their own, so you don't have to do like the honor system.
Yes. There's been a couple of times that you and I have wanted to do that, but I've never been able to get them to work on my end. And at that point in time, your PC wasn't up and running. But now that it is, we could possibly get something like that up and rolling on our end. That would be kind of.
I would be open to a Soul Link of a game. I have all of the games currently on hard copy, so I could be down with a Soul Link on a game.
Okay, that would be really, really cool.
So Mike is back.
I've been back for a little while.
Oh, what?
It's fantastic. We want to hear about this.
It's been
this
listening
TCG
to
Live.
this wonderful conversation that was going on between 2 friends.
Oh, it's very silky smooth.
I was enjoying it, so I'm imagining the listeners must have been too.
Jump on in here, Your Grace.
Yeah. Tell us about Pokemon Live.
Well, what would you like to know?
Well, first of all, how do you like the experience since the game first came out, and what's kept you from coming back to play it?
Well, what was the question again?
How
kept me coming back to play it?
Yeah, how do you like it when you play it, and what's kept you coming back?
I like it I like it a lot. I mean, I play it I log in at least once a day, because you got to get up that ladder.
How far are you up the ladder?
Well, it depends on which ladder you're talking about. You're talking about the Battle Pass, because the Battle Pass, if you don't know, listeners out there who may not have played TCG Live but are thinking about it, there are 2 Battle Pass options. There's a single for, I think it was 600 little purple coins, and that unlocks the Battle Pass so that you get, because if you're looking as you're going through I think it's a 9-week progression, you have the top prizes, which you get regardless, and then if you have the Battle Pass unlocked, there's additional prizes along the bottom as well. So for 600, you unlock that, but for, I think it's 1800, you unlock the first 15 rungs. So you start at 15, and there's 50 total. And then there's the other ladder, which is the more you play, the more you win. The higher up that ladder you go, and that determines at the end of the I think it's a 9-week ladder, how many prizes you get. Because I usually get to about the Greninja, which isn't very far. It's in the Great Ball. I believe it's in the Great Ball. It's not in the Ultra or the Master. And that gives you, a nice little prize at the end. It gives you some cards and some coins, and I think it's like 200 of the coins, or the little, I can't remember what they're called, but they're because in this game there's no trading for some reason. It's called TCG Live, but there's no trading involved. It should just be CG Live, because there's no trading. What you do is you can buy any of the cards you want as long as you have enough of that currency.
Hang on. Does that mean I could buy a Switch from base set 1?
I believe you could, sir. because they have every single card. When you go in and you click on a card, and then you hit, there's a little drop down that you can see, and it'll say you have 4 available. It's 4 of one switch, but when you click on that, there's a whole bunch of switches that you can go through and see if you like this one or this one or this one, and you hit the exchange button. And most of those cards are going to cost you 100 of the currency. When you get into things like full arts, you're looking at probably somewhere around 1,200, 1,300 currency for that one. And then if you want gold, you're looking at 2,000 of the little currencies.
Now, how much of this little currency do you acquire by winning a game?
You see, that's the thing. You don't really acquire anything by winning games. You get them when you go up on the what they would call the battle pass ladder. So you get so the best thing to do if you can is unlock at least a little one, the 600 purpley, and you get those from daily quests. You get daily quests, 2 of them a day. The first one usually gives you coin, which you can use to buy outfits or deck boxes, coins, deck sleeves, that kind of stuff. So and their deck sleeves and coins is really limited right now. So to me, in my humble opinion, that currency is useless. I mean, it's like way on the back burner. The little purple crystals that you get, those are used for unlocking the battle pass. So the higher up you go on that ladder, the more coinage the more little purpley things you get, and then you can unlock your battle pass. So say you didn't have enough coins at the beginning, but you are at the 25th level, and now you have 600 coins or 600 little purple crystals. If you unlock that battle pass, everything back from 25, all on the bottom rung, will be unlocked for you to go and claim, which will give you more purple gems, more gold coins, and more of the currency that's used to buy cards, basically.
Honestly, one of my favorite part of card games was always having different art styles and shinies. Are there like foil? Like, is it just like it was in the
just like it was in the game?
Apologies to everybody who's screaming at me with all of these questions about a thing I could just look up on my phone. Please continue.
But that's what this podcast is all about.
And currently doing that exact same thing.
Excellent. To be honest with you, the shinies, sometimes it's kind of hard to tell the foilies because they, it's like you just see little round Pokeballs in some of them that indicate that it's a foily, and other times you just see like kind of hard, like a ripple effect on the card to show you that it's a foily.
So
like
I have reverse foil and the normal foil.
They do have reverse foil, the normal foil, but like when you go back, like I have some escape ropes that are foily, but they're just like that little ripple that goes through the entire card. Okay. So they're older, what I would consider like older versions of foilies, whereas the newer versions of foilies have the little round Pokeballs throughout the entire card.
Last question before we start getting into actually what you play is, do they have the textures of like the high value cards, like Moonbryon?
I don't know.
Okay.
I can't answer that question because I have
I'm sorry.
no idea what you're talking about.
Like, there's textures? How do I feel the textures through my phone?
You can't feel the textures through the screen on I play it on the computer. I don't play it on my phone because, viewers, I have a vision problem.
So how many games do you play in a given month of this?
Well, that depends. Right now, I have last month I played a lot because I got to the level 50 on the battle pass in like I think 4 weeks.
It's dope.
And still had like
I'm excited to have
I still had like
podcast.
4. I still had, it might have been less than that because I still had like I still was waiting like it was about 4 weeks because I still had 5 weeks left. So for that time I would just go in once a day and play enough matches to get my 2 daily quests done, and then I'd log out. And that's kind of what I'm doing right now because I don't want to be done with. I kind of don't want to rush through all that, and then I don't know. I kind of like to have a reward, a goal to go to, and if I complete all 50 of those things before that, to me it's kind of like, okay, well, I've already hit my goal, so now it's just 1 a day or 2 games a day to do this, and it gets a little tedious. I mean, I guess I could be working on my levels, as far as my avatar level. I think I'm at level 15 or 16, and then there's the big ladder that you go up like from normal to Great Ball to Ultra Ball to Master Ball. I think I'm in the normal right now. I don't think I've broken into Great Ball yet. But it's kind of cool. I mean, you get like, if you win a match, you get 20 little points that go towards that, the Great Ball, Master Ball type thing, and you get points towards both the battle pass and your level. So like the last game I played before we came in here, I won the game, and I got 20 towards the little rank ladder, and I think it was 155 points towards my level and towards the battle pass ladder as well. So, and if you lose, and once you hit Great Ball, if you lose 20 points. But if you're still in like the normal Pokeball, you only lose 10 towards the ladder, the rank ladder. So when you start hitting the Great Ball, you're like, okay, I don't want to lose, because if I lose, I'm going to drop down, and it will drop you down if you are at like the hard limit between one level and the other. If you lose, it'll drop you back down to the other level. So you have to get back into that level and then make all the progress back again. So, but that's on the ranked. There's also just fun play. You can just go in, and on that, if you do that one, nothing is banned, nothing is illegal, everything. I mean, you can play any card that's ever been made as long as you have access to them.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, they do have expanded and standard. But
Yes.
I will say this, as you were explaining that, I did log in on my phone to kind of see what the battle pass is. I actually got a lot of rewards today. I'm not sure if JT has collected his yet, but I would definitely do that, because the Paldean set, brand new set just dropped. I think it's like
Paldea Evolved is there. It's a Paldea Evolved.
Yep. And I got Chan Pao for free.
Yep.
And 7 packs for free, plus 12,000, not 12,000, but 1,250 of the currency that allows you to make cards.
Yeah, that'll buy you something like a full art or an alternate art Chin Pao. That'll cost about $12.50 to $12.60. I know that I've had enough packs that I have 2 gold Chin Paos right now.
Oh wow.
That's what I'm saying. Where's the trading aspect? Because that's the one thing. That is the one thing about live that I don't like, is that there is no option to trade. It's trading card game live, but you've taken the trading away. I can't trade with you. I can't trade with John. I can't trade with anybody. All I can do is, because I guess they figured now that I can just, as long as I have enough currency, I can just buy whatever card I want to, that they don't need to trade anymore. And I think that is the one thing that I don't like about this version. I like the old version better, because you could trade, and I think that this way is fun too, because you can buy all the cards, but I think they should have both in there. They should incorporate both, because that is the whole name of it's a trading card game. Trading card. I'm going off on a tangent.
No, and it's something that I agree with. Like when Master Duel first did this, and Master Duel is Yu-Gi-Oh! I loved Master Duel because I could literally create the cards that I want without having to specifically buy a pack. I wasn't forced to play until I was able to buy a pack to get a random RNG chance. I could sit there and create my deck from scratch, which is something I love about live. But I do miss the trading aspect. There's a lot of card games that do that now, that just allows you to create the cards and use them in like official tournaments online, but they don't allow you to trade. I believe Magic still doesn't allow you to trade, and they've been having like this system for a while. But I know Master Duel doesn't allow you to. Pokemon Live doesn't allow you to, and Dragon Ball Super, which may be coming out from Bandai in the near future, also doesn't allow you to trade, but it allows you just to create the cards, and it allows you to continue playing the game, so you don't have to spend money. And thankfully, right now, there's no way to buy currency for Pokemon Live, as far as I'm aware.
There is though.
Oh, there is now?
There is a way you can buy. It's not really buying currency. So say you've been playing say you played the old Pokemon game for a while, and you've built up, quite a collection of cards. In TCG Live, you can only have 4 copies of a card. Anytime you open a pack and you get another copy of that, it automatically trades it in for either 10, 20, 125, 150, 250. So like if I'm opening, say, Fusion Strike pack, and I get those little code cards, right?
Yeah.
And I go on, I enter that code, and I open that Fusion Strike pack, and the last thing in there is a Mew V, but I already have 4 Mew Vs. It automatically trades that Mew V in for 250 of the currency. So what you can do to build up that currency is you can go to places like PoTownStore.com.
PoTown sponsor us.
Yes, PoTown sponsor us. And you can buy bulk codes. So I could buy 50 packs of Fusion Strike enter all the codes, go back into live and start opening those packs. And like I tell you, I bought 200 or 300 code cards from Potown store the other day, opened all the packs, and I was sitting at 22,000 some odd of the currency that you need to buy cards. So there is a way to buy that currency. It's just a roundabout way. You have to. And here's the thing, those 300 packs cost me $44.
And that's at PotownStore.com?
PotownStore.com. There's another one out there called Card Cavern that does the same thing, but Potown seems to have more codes in stock than the Card Cavern does.
Sponsor us.
I'm surprised you're not going through TCG Player. Were they are they expensive?
I haven't looked at TCG Player, and I'll tell you this: the reason I go to Potown Store or Card Cavern is because of the two of the YouTubers I watch the most that do decks are I'm gonna drop a plug here. Yes. Zapdos is TCG.
Shout out.
And he is sponsored by Potown. And then there's another one that I watch that he does a lot of. He doesn't credit anybody else for the decks that he's doing. It looks like he's building these decks and trying them out, and that's a Little Dark Fury. All one word. All one word, yes. And he is sponsored by Card Cavern. So those are the two that I know about. So I go there and I look at those, and like I said, I can go. If I go to Potown Store right now, we're looking at if I wanted to. What was it? I think I bought some. I did make a mistake and I bought some that I thought I'd already had before and had a nice build up on Darkness Ablaze and Vivid Voltage. I didn't have a big book, so I didn't get nearly as much currency off of those as I did of like the Brilliant Stars and the Astral Radiance. But bulk codes right now for something like the brand new set, which is always going to be the most expensive one, for $16 you can get 50 codes to Paldea Evolved. Right now $8 will get you 50 for Crown Zenith. Scarlet and Violet base set is 11. The most expensive one on here is Celebrations, and it's almost $1 per pack per code. It's $49 for 50.
Oh wow!
But you can get like Darkness Ablaze for $6.50 for 50 of them. Chilling Rain is $7. Vivid Voltage $7.50. Battle Styles $7. But they even go back into like Sword and Shield base. XY is on here as well. So there's Sun and Moon. There's a lot of old cards you could buy with code cards, and they're not all of them are all that expensive. The most expensive one is Celebrations at $50 for 50. But right now, the majority of my stuff has come from Astral Radiance, Brilliant Stars, Pokemon Go, Lost Origin, Silver Tempest.
Here's my theory about the Celebrations being the most expensive, because they're the fewest cards in that set, and they have printed so much of it. It's probably really easy to max out by what you're saying of that set, and then just cash in $50 for pure currency.
Well, I mean, depending on what you've bought, like we did a lot of Brilliant Stars. We opened a lot of Brilliant Stars back in the day. So
but the amount of cards in Celebrations compared to Brilliant Stars is a lot lower.
So pretty much for me, if I go through Brilliant Stars, every single card is giving me currency pretty much. There's still a few I don't have from that one. And it's kind of the same with Astral Radiance, is almost every pack is giving me currency. And with some of them, it's kind of interesting. Like if you're opening and you get a Radiant card, you're only allowed one Radiant card. So it automatically cashes that in for 150 if you've already got one. So they're worth 150. Things like the Mew, any of the Vs, the V Maxes are 250. Some of the ones I want to say out of Astral Radiance or Brilliant Stars are only 125. So, and then anything else that you get in that last spot, if you already have 4 of them, is usually 100 for the credit.
I do have some questions about what you're seeing as far as in the ranked games and like what the flow of Pokemon is as currently, like the meta, as you will.
I still see a lot of Chin Pao.
What does Chin Pao do for the uninitiated?
Chin Pao, I believe, if he's in the active spot, he's got an attack, quote unquote, or an ability that allows you to take 2 basic water energy from you and put them into your hand from your deck. And a lot of people are pairing him with Baxcalibur and Palkia, because Baxcalibur allows you to, I believe it is, take an attack. It's almost like Guardavars, where you can attach cards as many psychic energy to from the discard pile. I think Baxcalibur is from your hand, but you can.
Oh my goodness, he's Blastoise.
Yes, he is.
Yeah, he's Gen 1 Blastoise, ladies.
What you got to think about the thing with the Gardevoir, which is still Gardevoir EX deck, is still the number 1 deck in the meta.
Okay.
But that one, hits you for 20 points every time you attach an energy to a card. So say I'm attaching energy to, say, I'm going to hit you with a Zycan V. Every time I attach energy to that, it's taking 20 damage to that card, which makes it a lot easier to knock out. Yes, you can get up there and knock out one of my cards, but the next guy that comes in is most likely going to be able to one-shot that guy, and he's going to go away.
Not with Baxcalibur.
No, Baxcalibur doesn't put any damage counters on your Pokemon at all. So you can have Chin Pao up front pulling water energy from your deck into your hand, and you have a Palkia, and you upgrade that to a Palkia VMAX, and then you just use Baxcalibur to put the 2 energy you need, or you and I think Chin Pao has a pretty nasty attack as well that discards the water energy that's on him. Doesn't.
Sorry, go ahead.
But then there's also Super Rod, and which is now legal. Is
classic item.
All the energy retrieval stuff that you can have put back in your deck, so that Chin Pao can just start pulling from the energy from your deck again. But there's a lot of different stuff out there. I'm still playing an Origin form Dialga and doing fairly well. I'm winning more than I'm losing with that one. I also still play which is still doing fairly well, at least on TCG Live, the Miraidon deck.
Okay. The electric.
Still doing fairly well because you have Miraidon, Raikou, which is usually your big attacker, because and then Regieleki and Regieleki VMAX, and then you play 4 electric generators, which every time you play it, you take I think it looks through the top, I want to say 5 of your deck, and any energy it finds, it allows you to attach. I think it's up to 3. So it's
a fast format is what I'm hearing.
It's definitely very fast. But my Dialga, it takes a little time to get going because you got to get your Malmetals up there. The ones that allow you to go through and search. Again, it's kind of like the electric generator, only it's a Pokemon. You go through and you can take. But this one, if you're looking through the top 5 of your deck and all 5 of them are energy cards, you get all 5 of those and attach them to anybody you want to. So it does make Dialga pretty formidable. But then also, I just got done watching Little Dark Fury did a video on Wo-Chin EX being the hero that the hero grass Pokemon needs, because it's got a nice sniping attack from the bench. I think it's from the bench. But also the new, with Paldea Evolved, the new Wug Trio stall deck or mill deck does pretty good now too, because of the I want to say it's not Radiance energy, but there's a new energy that came out with Paldea Involved that when you put it on their accounts, it's 3 of any color.
What?
But I think there's a caveat to that, and I can't remember what it is. Something about prize cards or something. If you have less prize cards than your opponent does, it counts as 3 of any color. Which isn't hard to do in a single card deck where the biggest single prize card deck where the biggest one that you're looking at is maybe a 120 on a hit point, so it gets taken out right away. And then Wug Trio, what it allows you to do with 3 energy is you can flip 3 coins, and for each head it mills the top 3 cards off your opponent's deck. But he also put in the new the new Gyarados, which his attack for 1 allows you to mill the top 2 off your opponent's deck. So that
mill's still around.
Yeah,
mill's still around. And then the stall deck that I really like it involves Snorlax, because there's a Snorlax with fat something, I can't remember, but it doesn't allow your opponent to retreat, so they have to use an escape rope or a switch card to get that card out of there. And the new Mimikyu in Paldea Evolved is immune to all damage from EXs and Vs, so it's a better version of Miltank.
Okay.
Where if that player, the only thing that can damage him is going to be another non-EX regular old Pokemon. And if they're playing a deck kind of like, if you're playing against somebody like the electric one I just talked about a minute ago, Miraidon, you just pop him out there and they can't do anything about it unless they boss order somebody out. But then they kill one and you just pop that guy back up there, and they're stuck because all they have is EX and Vs that are attacking. In the ones that I play, because Klefki is banned right now. For some reason, it's temporary banned on Klefki, on Spiritomb, and there's a couple other. There's like 5 cards right now that are banned for some reason.
Gossip.
It's probably because of the fact that their effects are not meshing well with the other card effects. Because some attacks say specifically, I can do this, and yet their abilities might ultimately say this, but at the same time,
Well, the thing with the reason I'm not understanding Klefki's ability is that you can't use any abilities if he's in the active spot. He's kind of like a path to the peak, only he works for everybody.
Yeah.
So if you have Klefki in that active spot, nobody, including your own, nobody can use abilities. which really kind of screws Miraidon up, because Miraidon's big thing is his ability is that he allows you to go find 2 more electric basic Pokemon and put them into play. So the play with that one is if you have a Miraidon out there, you hit him and you get another Miraidon, and the way I do it is Raikou, and then I hit that second Miraidon and I get 2 of the Regielekis out, and my bench is full. So now Raikou's attack is going to do more damage than it would have before, because I have a full bench. His attack gets stronger for every benched Pokemon, yours and your opponent's. But if you throw a Klefki out there right in the beginning, and that's the deck that my Klefkis were in, was in the Miraidon one. You throw that out there right at the beginning if you have nothing else, and if they throw a Miraidon down, that's all they got, because they cannot use his ability to go find 2 more Pokemon to put into play.
Yeah.
It gets rid of the Regieleki VMAX's ability, which adds 30 points, adds 30 extra damage to every attack you do. So if you have 3 Regieleki VMAXs, your Miraidon is hitting for 90 more, as is your Raikou is hitting for 90 more. So if you have a Klefki out there, that ability is devoid as well.
Just for clarification for the people that are listening, I did a little bit of research. Klefki's ability on TCG Live does not work as intended. Apparently, there's been some glitches or bugs found when playing against the Mew VMAX deck. Apparently, Genesect is able to get through the ability with the Fusion Strike energy. So that's probably why he's been banned, and other effects along with that.
I can see that. Yeah.
Makes total sense.
I still play my Mew VMAX. I still have a Cali Rider, Shadow Rider out there. As far as decks go, I have a lot of decks, because I look at these 2 guys and I say, okay, I want to see how that deck plays for me, because it's going to play different for everybody. And a lot of times I'm not smart enough to stick around for the whole video to see their strategies.
Fair.
So I'm out there free in the wind, just seeing what goes on. Like earlier, Zapdos just posted a first place Luminous counter box, and I'm not sure, I can't remember which tournament it's from. It's from a smaller one. There were only 300 players there, but I built it. It's very interesting. Luminous energy is basically just like the other one. It gives you whatever the color it is. It's only just one, and I don't think you have to be prized down to use it. I think it's
only if it's the only special energy on your Pokemon.
Yeah,
Listener, I have been looking things up. I apologize for my insolence earlier.
No, it's good. It's fine.
So I'm going to interject
forgiven.
here a little bit, because we are getting close to the time that the podcast should be wrapping up here. But I just wanted to give some announcements.
We'll never be done.
Oh, we're about.
Oh yeah, and I have something. I have something too.
So on the topic of when we were talking about like codes and where to buy them. On TCG Player right now, I can actually get 150 for 10 cents. So it's about $15 to get like a bunch of codes.
Yes. But that's the same thing. And which one is that? Which set is that?
Paldea.
Paldea Evolved. Okay.
Yeah. Cool thing, Qian Pao, his attack is for every water energy that is discarded from your Pokemon does 60. So it's essentially does what Raichu does currently in JT's deck, which is phenomenal.
He's basically the water Raichu.
With Blastoise backing him up. Very impressive.
Yes. It's a fun deck. I've played it. I have it built. I have the one that Zapdos TCG put out there, and I think it's a very fun deck. I just a lot of times I go with that Origin Form Dialga, because I'm used to playing it, and I know that it's going to get me 2 out of 3 I'm going to go 2 out of 3 on that one if I play 3 games.
So, Matt, do we have enough time to actually tell these people about this prizes? Have we tortured them long enough?
We are just on that hour mark, so if you want to throw in that prizes, we can do that.
I'll keep it pretty short.
Tortured me long enough,
and we'll go into it more in the following episode. Then, listener, if you're out there, I have started a hashtag called the Master Ribbon Challenge, which, if you are unaware, if you climb all the way up to Master Ball in the Pokemon Scarlet and Violet games and then win a battle in Master Ball, every Pokemon in your party gets a ribbon, which is a thing that you can toggle on a Pokemon that will have a little extra saying whenever it exits its Pokeball. It's very fun.
Pretty dope.
The Master Ribbon is pretty cool. And so I will be doing the Master Ribbon Challenge, which is getting every Pokemon in the Scarlet and Violet games with the ribbon. I will be posting first team along with its rental code on after the next episode where I detail it a little bit more. And after the 6th rental code, one lucky viewer is going to be able, if you use the hashtag or you hit up myself or his Grace on any of the social medias,
Don't hit me up.
you will be able to take any individual Pokemon from any of the 6 teams in a trade where you get it. This includes Pokemon like Chien-Pao, Dondozo, Annihilate. The Annihilate that I took the 38th place Portland Regional will be on there at some point, I'm sure. But we're going to be doing everybody from Lechonk, his evolution, all the way to whoever's legal. So there is going to, at some point, be Urshifu on a rental team. When that team has a Pokemon that has been removed, we will replace it with the next one, and we'll keep going. I'll be taking these teams on Premier Challenges. It's not as engaging as Matt's contribution, which is an amazing YouTube channel. If you haven't checked it out, what are you doing? Stop this episode and go watch the show, episode 1. But check back periodically. We'll be discussing the teams each. I believe these are going to be bi-weekly, so each every other week. And
Yes.
yeah, you're gonna get
It'll be bi-weekly because of the fact that some of us are super busy on the weekends, and then sometimes we just have like some time set out. But if something comes up that we just feel like we need to discuss or talk about, then we can easily create another time frame to post one. Because I would love to get into conversations for the NAIC that's happening next weekend, because that's going to be fun.
Next weekend?
That's next weekend.
So that's the last week of Regulation C, huh?
Yes, last week of Regulation C.
Yeah,
and it's the last official big tournament before Worlds. The last regional. There's no more regionals after this. As a matter of fact, I think this is the last international championships. So
I believe so.
This, if the timeline is right, so it's the last one until Worlds in August.
Shout out to the Pokemon Company for completely changing the format between what you qualify to Worlds with what Worlds is. In years past, I've always thought that was kind of redundant, and it made things like Pachirisu possible, but there was a lot of the same in the field. And I feel like with this one being the first event of Regulation D, it's going to be just so crazy to watch the streams. And I, as a viewer of competitive Pokemon, I've never been more excited.
Hey, the Pokemon Company, if you're listening, sponsor us.
Shout out.
Sponsor us. Shout out to the Pokemon Company. Come sponsor us. We'll take your money. We don't care.
We're gonna add to your titles that the Duke, His Grace, the Humble, the Shill.
Sure.
Chill.
Yeah.
That's
Good with
excellent.
it. Yeah. As being as humble as I am, I'm okay with that.
Definitely.
Well, I am going to have to call it here. Sounds like the prizes are going to be coming up, and I will add on to JT's thing. If you guys want to get into his prizes, just leave a comment on the YouTube channel, and I will let Tim know, and then we will try to figure out a way to get these trades out there if you're selected. I'm kind of up in the air about that. Like, I'll know more details after the podcast, of course. But
Pete, this if you leave a comment, we'll read them and we'll address them on the next episode.
Well, somebody
That's
will
real
read
good
them.
about reading them.
I'll read them. I'll post them.
You will.
For sure.
Reader.
And then episode 2 is where we're going to get a little bit more into details. I would like to invite the Duke back again and discuss things that he's been doing for TCG Live, or maybe just stuff that he's been doing on Scarlet and Violet. He's been a huge shiny hunter. As a matter of fact, JT and I have been helping him fill out his Pokedex of shiny Pokemon, and it's been
you have.
It's been
that's a good teaser.
It's been fun.
It's going to be really interesting to talk about that, but I do want to give JT one whole segment to himself for his Pokemon regional for the Portland era. Because you created a 16-page docket that I have yet to see, by the way.
Well, it's in the Dropbox. Team Unconventional has a private Dropbox that I share all sorts of stuff, like combinations of needs for teams and EV spreads, the whole 9 yards. It's a really cool. I figured out how to take shorthand notes of every move that occurred of every round of my journey through the Portland Regional. I have not edited it for grammar or any of that, and so I might post that at the end of season 1, just for like on my Twitter at Ace Trainer JT on Twitter.
Go and follow him. Go and follow him.
Go and follow me. I only
one more
post
time,
about
what's that?
Pokemon. Ace Trainer JT. All
You
one
heard
word.
that. Ace Trainer JT, all one word, listeners. You know what I really enjoy about this right now?
What's that?
So-
Is that about 15 minutes ago, Matt said we had to wrap up.
He told me a segment. I'm
Yeah.
trying to do the cliff notes.
He said a whole segment next time
Yeah,
on the Portal.
no.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah, you get
Whoops.
Next
you get an
time.
entire episode to yourself, my man. You don't have to do it now because I'm
Listener, I
excited. I
apologize.
want to hear your. I was there, so I know how excited you were. But I know that I did a really shoddy job at depicting of my experiences in there. But I wasn't expecting to get. Day 2, I was hoping to, but after like my third loss, I was like, maybe not. But
That was definitely both of our goals going in. We were not ready for the size of this thing. It was the biggest event ever in the city of Portland, and I'm excited to go into it with y'all. On the next episode, there's a teaser.
yeah, we'll get into that plus more because the fact that we've got a lot of stuff that we want to talk about. And I want to thank everyone for listening. I want to thank JT and the Duke for coming in, and hopefully you guys will join me either next week or the following, because again, the NAIC is coming up next week, so it'd be really cool to have like an intermediate, like small talk of what's going on and what our
buddy,
predictions are.
I am available 24/7, 7 days a week.
Don't say that.
I am available 24/7, 7 days a week.
All right, guys, write your emails to the Duke at.
I'm available for podcasts. I'm not available to do anything else. I'm available for podcasts. Besides, you guys didn't let me give my other. I have like 3 more titles I can throw at you, but
That'll be a great segment. Is what
we'll
we're
do that
calling it
next
this
week.
20 minutes later, and he's just finally ends his final title.
It'd be about that if I decided to do the whole thing. But, listeners, I'm going to tell you now, stay humble, my friends. Stay humble.
Thanks for listening if you're on Spotify or any type of audio podcast, or thanks for watching if you're on YouTube. It is going to be on the Search 1285 channel. So until next time, have a great day and enjoy your weekend. See you later. Yeah, Mike.
Okay, start that over. So when you
I told you I'm
Mike,
going last.
He was ready to jump in. So give one person the chance to like say something.
No, I told you I was going last.
Sure. I get that, but Matt said Mike, and then you said something, and then it was not smooth. But also, I was holding my tongue because
How's the recording going?
Matt, when he started, I was in the middle of saying something, so it's not good audio. Try that again.